one gentleman was wondering if it's incorrect for Copts to consider themselves as Arabs.
I guess it really does depend on what you mean by Arabs, right? For a lot of people here in the West, an Arab is simply a person who speaks a specific type of language. And obviously, we can't deny that most of us speak Arabic, right? You can sit there and talk to me about how it is. No, I speak Egyptian. No, you're actually wrong. You speak Arabic, right? I mean, when you go into Google Translate and you want to know what a word is, you're going to pick Arabic. There's no Egyptian in there. So
Yeah.
if what you mean by Arabic is simply the language, then there's no harm in saying that. But oftentimes to us who are raised in the Middle East, especially because of the conflict of the Arab reality of Islam and the Coptic reality where we find our ancestry and our heritage among the indigenous people of Egypt who are really the early Christians of Egypt long before the Arabs invaded Egypt, then yes, some people might sit there and insist and say, no, I'm not an Arab, I'm an Egyptian. And what they're hinting at is not language. What they're hinting at there is heritage. Especially the Christian heritage that was, mostly erased because, when you went into Egypt and especially the 3rd or 4th century, the vast majority of Egypt was Christian. That's no longer the case today. So if you're speaking from a perspective of heritage, I understand your perspective. And yes, you would be right to say I'm Egyptian, I'm not Arab. But that also doesn't mean that if a person says I'm an Arab and they're only speaking at the level of language there, when they use that word, then no, we can't treat that person as an outcast or an apostate because they sold out, our ancestors who suffered. So,
well, what if they mean it more than just language? Like they want to identify culturally as Arab,
No problem. And that's a person who identifies and says, I love Egypt, the motherland. I love the music that comes out of there. I love the culture that's there. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And you can be an Arab and a Christian all at the same time. It doesn't mean that you're sitting there and promoting the violence that was committed against Christians, right?
Yeah.
I just think that, unfortunately, when that conversation becomes very polarized, it's because people are trying to project certain values on others because of, again, past pains or whatever.
So you don't think it's like an accuracy thing? You think it's like if you identify as it, that's kind of fine?
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally a kind of person who, when they ask me, like, here in Canada, what do you identify as? I always tell them, I'm an Egyptian who's a Christian. I don't identify as Arab because here in the West, Arabs immediately means Muslim,
Right?
And that's a fair statement because at the general level, the vast majority of Arabs are indeed Muslim.
Yeah.
So I emphasize that we're the Christian Church of Egypt. That's all.
I think for young people too, maybe we're in a season right now where being Arab is a little bit kind of cool. I don't know. It's like,
is that right?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like on social media and stuff, it's like Habibi everywhere. And it's like, it's just cool being Arab right now. It's 20 years ago, after 9/11, not very cool.
That wasn't the
case. Now it seems like it's kind of cool. And,
interesting.
I think identity and like who we think we are is very kind of a complicated issue. Like obviously an Egyptian can't identify as like like a Chinese person. That wouldn't make any sense, right?
I'll give it a few years, Andrew.
Yeah, give it a few years.
I mean, I gotta tell you, here in Canada, you'd be surprised, but
well, yeah, I'd never say never, I guess, but
yeah,
with Arab, I think like there's some leeway there where like, okay, it kind of makes sense, there's probably some Arab in every Coptic's blood, it's like we're intermingling with these people, there has to have been intermarriages and things like that, and we're taking a lot of their cultural, kind of things and music and stuff, so it makes sense.